to Keeping It Real and Peep Game TV. I'm your man, Shadi Ali, aka SRD, with my man Jay Sean, aka Mr. F Love. And before we get started, we'd like to apologize for not being available last week. You know, things happen. You know, sometimes we don't
Yeah.
be able to make it. You know, so but we're here today. So what's going on, my brother?
Nothing, man. It's another day, man. Another day above ground. You know, um, feeling good, and thank God I got my health and strength another day. That's a
Absolutely.
blessing, and that's it. Just feeling good.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay. All right, family, let's get started with something I hear debated all the time. People always say men get bored in relationships, faster, faster than women. But I want to flip that. Do you believe women? Do you believe women get bored just as quickly, or is the myth being repeated without really being thought about? You know what I'm saying? So, do you think women get
Yeah.
bored just as quick as men, or what?
Um, I think they do. I think women get bored with their partners in relationships just as fast as men do, but they it's more patternable for a man to get. Oh, I'm tired of the same conversation. Tired of the same sex, but nobody really talk about the women. Every now and then, if you ask a woman, that they tell you the truth, and they say, "Yeah, we get tired too." Like of the same sex and the same, everyday thing and stuff. The only difference is if a woman love you, it's they they not gonna really express their boredom because they love you. You know what I mean? Just you and only you. So when you love somebody, you put up with more than you would when you don't. So that's the difference. A man get bored in something like that. He gonna try to go. He gonna go try to find a female to unboard him. You know what I mean? But a woman, I believe that women get tired of their men too. Like maybe might be doing the same position every time they have sex or the same thing. You know what I mean? And then you got women just like men. Men get tired of the same coochie, and women probably get tired of the same penis. So I believe they do. I believe women do, but I believe that women do get tired of their spouse in certain ways, but just as much as I believe they get tired of they partner, just as much as men get tired of their partner. But the only difference is I believe men act on it and the women don't act on it if they love you. What about you?
Okay, that's a it's a good question, and I would imagine it depends on the individual because I'm pretty sure there's some women that's acting on it because there's a lot of cats you know that be stepping out, so
Yeah,
that's unfaithful. And if you're heterosexual, you're being unfaithful with a woman,
yeah,
and most of them women, 8 out of 10 times, have a man. And that's a debatable thing, and that's a major issue where many people fall out over that. And I don't and
yeah,
I don't know whether it's just that the person being unfaithful, or is it the betrayal of them making you think that they were committed, to be monogamous. So I would say both are kind of equal. However,
Yeah,
I would say that it's more broadcasted that the men do it. I
yeah.
say, and my wife don't agree with me because she be trying to say that, men and women do it together. I say women are more slicker with theirs than men. Because women have a tendency to study their men's patterns, and men,
Hmm.
they don't really catch their women patterns. Like you said, your grandmother said a woman could say she go in the store and go get something off. You know what I mean? She go get a quickie, come back, with a bottle of Coke or something or Pepsi, and you think she just went to the store. She went and got hers off on you. You know what I mean? So,
She
so,
said,
but
she
but
said,
see,
she said,
because
boy, don't.
because women they or right like or espresso, you know what I mean? Get an espresso.
Yeah,
So, because women will have a man say, look, she'll come and she'll say, look, we got to get this in right now. We ain't got no time to be messing around. A
yeah,
woman, if she's in a position, she may make a man wait around purposely so that he can get jammed up. Oh, I'm not ready yet. Oh, I got to go take a shower. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
yeah, so that type of thing. And so the man, he trying to get in and out, and he ended up being there for like 2, 3 hours, trying to, trying to score, and then
yeah.
and end up jammed up. So
That's what my
so
grandmother said
yeah, yeah. So and that's an older woman, so she know.
in
She
her
knew
'80s.
she knew because she might have put a little work in herself.
She
You know?
she said, boy, don't believe it take no woman a long time to cheat, boy. Don't believe that, boy. Don't believe it take them a long time to cheat. They tell you they going to the store, laundromat, post office, wherever. Don't believe it take them a long time to cheat. I said, oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
coming from an 80-year-old.
right. So come on, she didn't seen it happen or done been a part of it or both. You know what I'm saying?
She knows what she talking about.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I would say yes. I would say it's equal.
All right. I don't. I'm trying to figure out. I guess a lot of people might answer this in the same way, but then a lot of people might not. So let's see. Anyway, do men and women have different roles when it comes to raising a family?
Um, I think at the roles can cross at a point, because okay, so let's say now there's a lot of women who are the head of the household financially. So
Yeah,
so that already changes the role because normally back in the day, the role was the man was the financial provider. Now, on the other hand, you still need the woman for her nurturing. Women are nurturing, where they are the ones to nurture the children, to be more, to be, to show love and emotional support to the child. You know, keep the child safe, meet their needs, that kind of stuff. Give them routine. Whereas, the men kind of be there with the structure. They like their structure.
yeah,
Like as men, we're pretty much known for structure. We pretty much known for the structure and how to keep the family in order. Like especially when it comes to like, especially boys. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times where
Especially what?
young males when they get a certain
Oh,
age, when
okay.
young males get a certain age, a lot of times they get to a point where they actually need a male because as a male get older, he get bigger, he gets stronger, and he kind of he gonna challenge both. He gonna challenge both his mother and his father after a certain age. However, but most time the man had the physical strength to like, okay, yeah, you want to challenge me? Come on, boy.
Yeah,
Whereas with the mother, because I remember, when I was younger one time, I basically challenged my mother. And, she was going to hit me. I held her hands. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I held her hand and she couldn't get her loose. So, so she was hot over that.
I know she was.
You know, however, yeah, in guidance, I think, both parents give guidance. Both men and women give guidance to the children, because the guidance, tell them, give how to make better choices. Um, you know, teach them how to handle themselves when they get angry. Not to go off the hinges when they get angry. Things of that nature. So my thing, yeah, men and women do have defined roles, but however, and nowadays the roles can kind of interlap based on the household and the situation of the two individuals. I don't think it's no more just a defined role because I wash dishes and did laundry, all that kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah,
so I say it's yeah. I say it's split up, even though we know that yeah, there are some roles that women play better than men and men play better than women. So we come together, we make the family better. What's your thoughts?
yeah. Um, I believe it's definitely um, men and women got different roles. Um, well, we from the '60s,
Right, right,
so it's different than how it is now. We from the '60s where uh, the most of the time your father or the man of the house was working, and it was left up to your mother to watch you. Um, so that alone would be different roles. You know what I mean? Because he the worker, he the provider, but she the stay home, school you moms. So I just say, I say, yeah, they both got different roles, because unless, you know, more than likely, um, the man had to show his dominance. You know what I mean, over the family. See, that'll be different coming from the woman. So I'm gonna say they got different roles.
okay.
I might be wrong.
Well, yeah, like I said, it depends on the family structure, and how things are. Like some of it's still the way it used to be. It's still like where the man, the man do the providing, and then
Yeah,
and the financial provider. So if it's that way, then sure, it's back to what it used to be. However, there's times where there's other occasions where the woman's probably doing the financial providing. You know, So,
Yeah.
but let's move right along then.
All
You
right.
know, I want to shift gears to something that's a little heavier, something that still sits with a lot of folks. You know what I mean? People still, it's still, still leave a cloud over people's head. People still kind of wondering what went down and how did this thing did, what really happened. My question is,
Huh?
but the question is, what do you think really happened to Nolan Wells?
We was just talking about that too. Me and you was chopping it up. This been going on for like a couple of weeks in the news. For those who not familiar, um, this um, one black kid went out on a boat with about 4 or 5 male white kids. He was male, and I guess they had a party or something. His birthday was July 4th or something, and everybody came back in but him.
Right.
Um, they claimed they was his friend since grade school, and they would never hurt him. But it don't look too good when 4 white guys and 1 black guy go out on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and then only 4 come back claiming that they don't know what happened. Um, what do I think happened? I think maybe they was out there in the boat and some kind of disagreement happened over something. Um, they found the body and they said it drowned, so they gonna do a autopsy. But if I was to speculate and guess, I would say he probably went out there with the 4 guys, all 5 of them, rented a boat. But something happened along the way. Maybe it was over a girl. Whatever happened, I believe he got into an altercation with one of the white guys, and it probably was something brewing under their breath or under his breath, and some kind of way he got flipped over and drowned. Um, that's what I think happened. I mean, but that's what I think. What about you?
I mean,
I
yeah,
mean, I
there's,
mean, we
yeah, that's a valid possibility. I mean, people have a tendency over women to do some things that women can come between a friendship, you know, or vice versa. However, it is a possibility that maybe he was, maybe the whole thing was planned. I would say maybe the whole thing was planned. They knew that he was probably messing with somebody's, one of the guys' girl or something on the low.
yeah, they
They,
was saying
they
that somebody was saying that.
yeah, they found out. They like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna invite him out, and then, when we invite him out, you confront him. You confront him, and when you confront him, then we got your back. So
Yeah,
that's a possibility that happened. That they confronted him. He stood his ground, and because they already had it pre-planned, they they all teamed up on him and flipped him over. Or it could have possibly been where the one person, they had a little altercation, and they scuffling, and he went over accidentally.
somebody was saying that too.
Yeah, he went over accidentally. However, the four guys, they got to stick to their story. Okay, look, once that happened, we got to stick to our story because none of us want to go to jail because nobody
That's
jumped in and
yeah.
tried to save them. You did.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so there's numerous possibilities of what went down, and the only ones that know are the four that was there and him, and he unable to speak for himself. So that's what that's my view on it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um. What do you say? Okay. We're gonna switch the beat a little bit and get a little bit spiritual right now.
Yeah, yeah. Why not?
Um. Why do you say, or why do people say, or why do you say, or why is it written, or whatever? Why do they say that Jesus and God are two different entities?
Well, I was on a phone call with a family phone call, and my aunt, my brother, a lot of a decent amount of people in my family, they see Jesus and God as one entity. They say that he's one entity. Me myself, I don't say that he and God is one entity. However, I would say that because Jesus submitted to the will of God, which made them as one. Similar to when a man and a woman get married and they say you become as one. You're
Right.
not one, you're not one person, but you're one, you become one because you operate from the same level.
Right.
But what makes me say this and be able to stand behind it, because a lot of Christians, I'm pretty sure they'll be like, no, no, they argue down. No, no, Jesus and God is one. Jesus was God walking in the flesh. Yeah, sure.
Right.
We can say we're God walking in the flesh as well, because we all have the breath of God in us. And when we cease to be exist, that breath go back. So, but this is Luke 18, verse 18 and 19. And this is what it says. It says, a Jewish leader asked Jesus, good teacher, what what must I do to receive eternal life? And Jesus' response was, why do you call me good? He asked him, and then he said, no one is good except God alone. So basically he's saying, look, you calling me good teacher, but the only good entity, only good comes from God. So he made a distinction between himself and who we call him Allah, some call him Yahweh, some call him Jehovah, some call him Jah. Whatever you call him, that's is based on that. It's based on that. And they said it's in that scripture, Luke 18, verses 18 and 19, where it says Jesus make a separation between the two. He separates himself between the two. He says only God is good. He didn't say only I'm good. You know what I mean? When the Jew asked him, what about eternal life? Good teach when the Jew called him good teacher. So that's one of my reasons. There's multiple reasons, but that's one why I say that Jesus operated doing what God wanted him to do, but he wasn't God in the flesh. That's my.
Right.
What do you think? Do you think Jesus is God in the flesh, or do you think they were two separate entities?
Um. I believe that I believe that it's two different people. Um, they say, I guess, God, and then who was it? John and somebody, and then another generation. So and then Jesus. So more than likely, everybody say that Jesus is God's son. I'm just going by what everybody say.
Yeah,
So
yeah. What
I
America has taught.
I think that it's two different entities. What about you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I think it's two different entities. However, I think he had the ability to show us how we could connect to God. That's what I think it was about. Showing us how we could connect by living a certain type of life, by trying to treat each other a certain way, respect each other, help each other, that type of thing.
Yeah,
But that's my opinion, how I see it, and other people, a lot of people shy away from it because they can't prove it, so they leave it alone. But then other people believe with all their heart, and they will argue to the ground, saying that what they believe is what they believe. And I believe that a belief is not a fact. It's just something that you believe. Just like people believed in the
yeah,
Easter Bunny, when they found out as they got older, the Easter Bunny didn't exist. So a belief is not a fact. It's something that you just believe. All right.
yeah.
Okay. And before we, get close to wrapping the segment up, let me throw a strong, powerful one at you. You know, if you had the chance, and if history gave you the choice, would you have stood with Martin Luther King for the nonviolent movement, or would you have aligned yourself with the Black Panthers and their approach of empowerment and protection?
I meant for that to be like Black Panthers, uh, Nation of Islam, anybody. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
All of
so
them.
any one of the organizations.
In the '60s, when we was young, that's when around, I guess we was born when Martin Luther King was giving them boycotts. Boycotting the buses, and they was everybody walking to work and boycotting this. But we also know that uh, Martin Luther King was for peace. He was nonviolence. Uh, he, I don't know what kind of law it was, but I guess it was a don't strike back law. I'm not really sure, but if I had the chance and if I was young, I don't really know if I would have joined the Black Panthers, but I probably definitely would have been a follower of the Nation of Islam. You know what I mean? That's my three choices: follow Martin Luther King, um, uh, what's the other one I said? Follow Martin Luther King.
Black
Oh, Black
Panthers.
Panthers or the Nation of Islam. Or if you could think of another one, it's different. But what you think about that?
Um, well, knowing what I know now, I would more likely have leaned towards the Panthers. Reason being is because civil rights still are rights given to you by people of another ethnicity. It's like asking your neighbor to allow you to be able to walk down the street rather than you just walking down the street. You got to go to your neighbor's house and say, "Look, is it all right for me to walk down the street to the store?" That's and that's what the civil rights mean to me because it still wasn't human rights. Human rights and civil rights is two different things. Human rights is your God given
Mm,
right as a person, as a human being. Civil rights, it says America tells you you get to do this, but you can't do that. So that's why I say I would have turned away from what Martin Luther King did. And so did he before he passed away, before he was murdered. Let me put it that way. Before he was murdered,
yeah.
he did a speech called The Two Americas, where he basically said, I, I, I ran my people into a burning fire. You know what I mean? Where he took the people into something that he realized wasn't worth taking the people in, and he wanted to change directions. He wanted to change his course, and unfortunately, America likes to give the "I Have a Dream" speech. They like to give that speech. His wife even said, Coretta even said the speech that was most powerful was the Two Americas, where he started talking about what America has done, separated themselves for, we do one people this way and we do another people that way. You know.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put them on. That's all. No big deal. Just wanted to put them on. You know, just
You
yeah. That's why I was wearing sunglasses. Just wanted to put them on. I guess if you're blind, you see. Hey, that's cute. I like that. That's cute. Yeah, but what I was saying, yeah. So with the Panthers was more on the aspect of do for self. They had the lunch thing for the children. They were protecting their community, and they were standing up. They wasn't letting the police come in and just mistreat people. So I would have, I think I would have been more inclined to be a part of that rather than the nonviolent, turn the other cheek sort of thing that Martin Luther King was doing. And I think because I've seen enough bullies to know that you get a bully. Okay, somebody said free lunch and walking the children to school.
yeah, okay. Um who's the question on now? Oh, I just asked you, man,
Yeah, yeah. Well, what did you? What,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You just. I just asked you about because we were just talking about the Martin Luther King. You
Oh,
guys can
okay.
call in. Let them know that they can call in. What's that? 973-460
Oh yeah, 1610.
16 1610. You guys can call in. You don't have to type it. You can call in and we can hear your voice. That's nine seven
Yep.
three 460 1610. We can have a conversation rather than me reading off what you're saying. So you're welcome to call in so we can and talk about, some of the stuff that's on your mind.
Oh, so I'm asking you this one, right? So I
Yeah,
need to
now,
ask
yeah,
you, right?
yeah. Now my question. Yeah, it's my
All right.
question because you did
Okay.
we got to your three, man.
Oh wow. Okay.
We got to your three that
Um.
quick.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Um.
not playing. We moving right along today.
It is okay. Um. Well, I guess a lot of people would really want to know the real answer for this, so I just ask it. Hopefully, people understand. Is black considered a nationality?
Okay, let's kind of define a nationality. You know what I mean? A nationality is usually a nation of people that take on the name that is connected to their land. You know, for example, America, Americans, Puerto Rico, Puerto Ricans, Dominican Republic, Dominicans. You know, okay, so you know, Germany, Germans, Japan, Japanese, Chinese, China. So that's a nationality. So when we say black, black people and white people, and we complain about racism, that's what those two uh, the titles, descriptions. No, that's what they are. Those two descriptions were designed to clash and separate people. You know, so where you could say, like you said, the white guys and the black guy went on the, you know, Nolan, the black guy went on the boat trip. That separated them. You know, it separated them. You didn't say, you know, four, five Americans went on a boat trip. One happened to be of a darker shade. You know what I mean? So no, black is not a nationality. However, we've been, in my opinion, we've been tricked to believe that, and you know, so many people have gotten so emotionally connected, me included. I used to be so emotionally connected to it because you remember James Brown had "Black and I'm Proud," say it loud. So totally emotionally connected when the reality is you got on black and red. You know what I mean? You got on black and red. That's a description of one of the colors that you wear. That's not the nationality of a people. So
Right.
we have been duped to believe that being black represents a nationality. No, it's not a nationality. It's a description that describes us, you know, and complexion wise. But it separates us from being called American because this is what Martin Luther King was fighting for black people, you
Yeah.
know. So black people in the eyes of the law, when we talk about law, don't really exist. This is why black people go through so many different changes and black people get so much taken from them because they're black people and they don't have a land to protect them. You know, they'll say African American. Okay, we all know that people who claim two countries as a nationality normally was born in one and moved to the other, you know, or moved to the other after, you know, or moved to the other after being born in that.
Yeah.
So none of us who actually call themselves African American, very few of us even been to Africa. However, we've been told, you know, taught in school that a million of us was brought over here on slave ships which is the reason why many of us, including those others, you know, my European brothers and sisters, that we were brought over here on a slave ship. So that's why we're African Americans rather than just Americans, which is another form of separation, which is another form of uh, degradation and pushing us and making us less than. And we complain, but we still keep buying into these descriptions, or some people call them misnomers, you know, and until we as a nation of people really start looking or digging up the truth, because the truth is that those of us who are now called black have been here since 7011. Europeans
Yeah,
wasn't recorded to have came here until like maybe the 1600s. So that meant, what were the people called in 711 prior to 1600s, to the 1600s, you know? Or even when they
yeah,
even the point where they even say 1492, where we were taught in
yeah,
school, you know, what were the people called before 1492? We were, it had black on it. We were called black Moors, but somehow they got rid of the black and just kept the Moors. I mean, got rid of the Moors and just kept the black. So we was just, they
yeah,
said, hey, let's get rid of the Moors because the Moors have legal power, because we've done business with the Moors, but we don't do business with the blacks because we have recorded it that the blacks have been slaves. So now, whenever we acknowledge ourselves as blacks, we acknowledge ourselves as the ancestors of slaves. We don't acknowledge ourselves as the ones who are the ancestors of the people who owned this land prior to Europeans and the English even coming here. We don't acknowledge ourselves as that. So we put ourselves at a disadvantage because those individuals had their own government. Those individuals were the owners of the land. Those individuals don't have to ask America for anything. Those individuals can set up their own government. Those individuals can get a piece of land, and those individuals actually can get taxes from America rather than paying taxes to America. However, America knows this, so America keeps it hidden because they don't want the rest of the Americans to know. They don't want the rest of the people to know it because they want to keep us saying that we black or we African Americans or we people of color or we Indians, when we really black or Moors, Moors for short, and we have a country. We have people right now in this country who are reestablishing the land that our ancestors once owned as the Moroccan Empire. And once we completely establish that, then we can start dealing with America, not as a citizen, but as a national. And we deal with America by state to state. Just like America deals with China, the Empire of Morocco will be dealing with America as a state rather than as individuals. So that's why that question is very important to bring to light some of the hidden truths that America has been hiding from all Americans, not just us, but all Americans. They hide it from everybody.
long
So
time.
yeah. So now, what's your thoughts about the blackness?
Um, I think that when you say something like black, I think it's more like, well, the first thing people gonna say is they gonna point to something black. like this is black, you know, or that's is black. You not black like that. But I think that most people believe that black is a nationality. I also think that um, a lot of people think that maybe saying African American is the proper way. And what else? Black, African American, African, whatever you might call
People of color,
um,
Indians.
people, Indians. I would I would hope that one day we all could be under the same reign and consider our nationality, to be the same. Instead of some people saying this, some people saying that. I wish that we could all come together, or a majority of us, and stand tall for our nationality. And how you explained it earlier, just have people constantly explaining, the history, like I guess you said, the history of the Moors. Um, have more people explaining it to people, to not to the youth, but not only the youth, but have more people explaining it, and letting people understand, what their nationality really is. Because I think that black people are confused, but I don't think they're the only ones that's confused.
No.
I think it's other people confused, Hispanic people, Jamaican people, because you still got people battling, like, who is this, and you not that, and you have this, and you have that, and you mixed with this, and you mixed with that. So everything that come along with being mixed, I guess, with black, or however you want to say it, um, that could that could easily form a misguided perception of what's your nationality. You know, um, I just think it needs to be more education. That's all. Just more education. Who giving out the right information, education? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I just say we need more education before we start considering our correct nationality. That's what I think.
Well, remember, as 5%ers, we used to say proper education always causes enlightenment, or proper
Yeah,
education
yeah,
always causes elevation. So,
right,
and that's peace. So when people start getting educated properly, or you know, then that creates peacefulness. When people are miseducated, that creates confusion.
right,
Because at the end of the day, when you have one people feeling superior over another simply because they've been taught that their skin color made them dominant, that's a sham. That's a
yeah,
sham. That's something that was created for the hierarchy. And
right,
that's just the hierarchy regardless of color. Or let me say regardless of complexion. That was created for those who had the money to manipulate those who don't have it. So if they keep people separated, then they could get all kinds of laws passed. They can do what they're doing now as America, put any type of chemicals into your food where, you know, I was watching something where a gentleman said that uh, Europe has 400 ingredients in their food. They have maybe like 400 ingredients in their food. That total for all their food, 400 ingredients. But it said that America has 4,000 ingredients. So just thinking about 4,000 ingredients, like what type of stuff, and you know, if you go to the store and you grab something off the shelf and you start reading it, sometimes the list is about this long. You get tired of reading,
Yeah,
and you know, a lot of individuals, both Republicans and Democrats, they say, or if we want to use black and white people, the key component is the vote. But how is people voting, saying, okay, we want better ingredients in our food? Nobody voting for that. I don't hear people voting for
yeah,
that. I just hear people saying, vote because you're supposed to vote. It's going to make a difference.
yeah,
And actually, I don't see a positive difference being made. Difference that helping American people or the human, you know, humankind. Because we really are human family. Yeah, we got different nationalities, we got different facial features, but we really are one human family. And if we want to operate as one human family, it's about like, look, what do we need to do to make the world better? Starting with each neighborhood at a time, and ultimately start making the world a better place for people. Where right now you got America going to war with Iran, talking about like, this is where how they can use color and nationality to play a part. What gives America the right to say that Iran shouldn't have weapons of destruction? What makes America so righteous? Where they have the ability to say, look, we're gonna go to Iran and destroy their nuclear facilities because they shouldn't have weapons. What gives America that right? So when it comes to that, and then this is what happens to the American people. They get misled when it's all about going over there snatching oil, snatching gold, things of that nature. They going over there pillaging, taking
yeah,
stuff from other countries and disguising it as they like what Bush did. Bush did the same thing with Saddam Hussein, saying he had weapons of mass destruction. So when are we as a people, as a human family, going to just become wise enough not to just let the wool get pulled over our eyes by American politics and those who, we choose to vote? Another separation, as far as black and white, is Republicans and Democrats. Why you need two
mm-hmm,
parties? You only got one country. Why is just not one party for the one country? You know? So that's another separation. That gets people, when people battle, they get distracted. And when people distracted, you can do a lot of different things to them that they're not going to question because they're too distracted. You dig? Froze up, brother. So when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to Republican and Democrat, how does that unify people who go by American? How does that help American people get the chance to place the blame on the other party? You know, like they use that to place the blame on the other party. You know, like Republicans will say, "Oh, it's the Democrats' fault." Democrats will say that's like when we used to go to New York and the guy played a 3 card Molly on you. You know what I mean? He starts
Yeah,
switching the cards around. You don't know which one. He tell you to pick one. He didn't flip them up. You can't pick the right one because they you done got confused. So that's the similar thing that I believe the Republicans and Democrats do to the people. Confuse them to not know which one is which. And you remember when they played 3 card Molly, they would always have a guy standing in there, in the crowd who would keep getting the cards right. He would keep getting it right.
like he winning.
Right, right. So that would make you think, okay, let me go ahead and try. He winning. So they had that, they play you. Then as soon as you do it, you lose it. So so that's America to me. America is a trickster, trick the people. What you think about
Yeah.
when it comes to like the black being a nationality? I went different places with it, but it's ultimately about black being a nationality.
I remember you asked me that. I said that I just think we need more proper education.
Oh, okay.
We need more education. I think the whole spectrum. We just need more education before um uh people start guessing or assuming that black is a nationality, or guessing that uh, light skin is one, or mixed breed is. Oh, I just think we just need more education.
Yeah, yeah, and,
You
and,
know what I
and
mean?
just yeah, I could dig it.
Even no, yeah, yeah, because even me, you know what I mean? Like, I got my own thoughts and ideas, of course, from things I was taught or read,
Right.
but I don't got my hand on nothing that I could just stamp and say, like, that's it right there. You know what I mean? I need more education, even at my age, even at now. I need more education on it.
Hey, I would suggest for education as far as who we are. I would say go to the AMPAC study sessions on YouTube. Go to that uh, AMPAC study sessions. Go to that. Watch that. You watch a few of those. I guarantee you'll say, I can stamp it now. That'll give you the information you need to stamp to say, this is who we are. I can vouch for that based on how Jay Bay, the chief judge, breaks it down. You'll be and
Yeah.
show you the documents. You'll be like, okay, I can roll with that. But should we got like 1 minute? Let the people know what's going on with you.
Um, I'll be on tomorrow night on TikTok. I had kind of gave up on Facebook a little bit, but I don't know. I might go back to doing both. I'll see how I feel. Because I still got listeners on Facebook. I'm just trying to get them to transfer over to TikTok. So I'll be on TikTok live anyway at 10 o'clock. The Keeping It Real show. And I added another night. I'm going to be doing Monday nights at 10. The food show is on hold for right now. while I'm losing weight anyway.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
put the food show is on hold right now. I'm in the process of
Trying to get
trying
that
to lose
get a healthy weight going.
yeah, trying to get my weight down, and so I finally see progress. So I don't want to be eating big burgers and different, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
different jerk chicken and fried chicken and all that. I don't want to be eating all that right now. I'm just trying to stay on this regimen until I'm gonna try to I'm fasting. So I'm gonna try to do it exact to my birthday,
Okay, I can dig it.
September 17th. So see what happened. What about you? What you got
Uh,
going on?
yeah. Well, for me, you guys see this shirt. This is a Patterson, New Jersey limited edition. We're going to be having these pretty soon, plus more. Uh, we also have this initiative, community initiative called Safe Haven, where if any of you are looking to get work done in your home, you can reach out to us. You can inbox me or whatever. We do bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling, your floors, painting, whatever you need. Even state and city violations, we do that. The other thing is tune in on Sunday to the 17th Ave Family Investment and Management Enterprise. We changing the name from group to enterprise. So tune in at 9 o'clock with me and my man Jay Wise, aka Joaquin, aka Big Moors. So tune in to that. With that being said, stay loyal, stay respectable, you know, and till next week, love yourself
Peace.
and love somebody else.
Peace.
Peace.